Hello, welcome to this session on how to create and deliver effective courseroom communications. At Franklin University, we strive to develop learning environments that not only engage students in the learning process, but ones that also promote community and build lasting relationships. Therefore, as an instructor, you must find ways to effectively and consistently communicate with your students throughout the duration of your course. Whether you are communicating deadlines, changes in assignments, or reaching out to a troubled student, all communication you have with your class is vitally important to their success. There are 4 modes of communication that you are expected to use when interacting with students at Franklin University. The 4 modes are email, the course room, Franklin Live, and the gradebook. Let's take a look at each mode in greater detail. Email is perhaps the most used mode of communication when interacting with students, whether they are online or face-to-face. Not only does this help to create one-on-one relationships, but it's a great tool to use when handling private matters. Aside from individual communication, email is also a great tool to use when sending mass communications to students. Here are some other ways in which you are expected to utilize this function. Sending the class a welcome email one day before the class begins is vitally important to make contact with your students the day before class begins. This contact serves as a start date reminder, and it also gives you the opportunity to personally welcome students to class. Sending weekly announcements. It's required that you email a weekly announcement to your students every Monday morning or Sunday evening while your course is in session. The timing of this email is critical because it indicates to students that you are moving on to a new week in the course. This action also gives you the opportunity to personalize the course material and address any student concerns or make comments to the group. Please use my weekly announcements as guides when creating your own. As previously mentioned, email is a great tool for reaching out to students individually. If a student earns an absence in the course, you should email him or her asking how you can help get them back on track and also reiterating the attendance policy. Or if a student is not participating in class discussions, failing to submit assignments, or struggling with the course material, you should email them at first sign of trouble to offer your assistance. Being proactive with student issues is a must for both student and instructor success. You can also use email as a way to offer extra resources to students that pertain to the course material, such as current event articles. You should always be on the lookout for up-to-date supplemental information to share with students. There may be times along the way when the course room is experiencing technical difficulties, such as broken links, or the Dropbox may not be working. At the first sign of trouble, you should contact the help desk and your lead faculty. Then send an email to your class indicating that you are aware of the issues and provide an update when the issues have been resolved. In the case of an inactive Dropbox, ask students to email you their assignments to avoid being late. When using email to send reminders about course or assignment deadlines, it's also a great way to keep students informed. For example, you should email your class a reminder on the last day of the course indicating that the course is ending and that late assignments will not be accepted. You can also send a weekly email to students when you have completed grading their assignments for the previous week and ask them to access the gradebook to view their grades. Such communications will help build trusting relationships in the course room and will diminish student conflicts. In order to keep track of the email communications you are expected to send to students on a weekly basis, create a schedule indicating when they should be delivered. It's also a good idea to create email templates to use term after term. If you do this, you will only have to revise dates and other important course information. Remember, work smarter, not harder. Now that you know what types of communications to send via email to your students, let's turn our attention to the course room. Whether you are teaching face-to-face or online courses at Franklin University, online course rooms or portals will be set up for you to use. They will contain course content, course materials, and instructor information. You will gain access to your online portal approximately 10 days before courses begin. Once you have access to your course, you must get it set up immediately. Here are some vital communications you should create and add in your course rooms. A welcome letter. In just a few minutes, we will go over in greater detail what information should be included in your welcome letter. For now, it's just important to note that this communication does not have to be emailed. It's much different than the welcome email you are expected to send one day before the course begins. The welcome letter should be posted in the course communications section of the course room as soon as you gain access to your course. Weekly announcements. We have already discussed the importance of sending weekly announcements to your students. The same announcement that you send via email should also be posted in the course room under the appropriate week. Please do not post all of the announcements when setting up your course before the course begins. Each weekly announcement must be posted in real time after you email it to your students each week. Prior to the course start date, you should also add extra resources to your course rooms using the new class communication feature. Some ideas include, but are not limited to, an APA help folder, a coffee house, which is a space where students can discuss current events that pertain to the course, and team folders. Look to your mentor or lead faculty to assist you in coming up with new ideas that will work best in your course rooms. With the exception of the weekly announcement, all of the course communication discussed on this slide should be posted to the course room prior to the course start date. Make yourself a checklist to follow and create templates to use term after term. Before moving on to the next mode of communication, it's imperative that we discuss the welcome letter in greater detail. Since you will post it to your course room 10 days prior to the course start date, it will be the first piece of communication your students will see from you. Therefore, you must take great care and consideration when creating it. Here is a list of what your welcome letter should contain. A start date reminder. We want to remind students of the start date and ask them not to get started posting to the course room or submitting assignments until the course begins. Students will be eager to get started, but we must stick to the course's run time. Post a brief section about yourself. Remember, keep it friendly and professional. Tell students how to contact you, whether it be email, phone, or both. And make sure you give a response time. Tell students you will respond to them in less than 24 hours. Please be sure to reiterate the main policies in greater details, such as the attendance policy and the late assignment policy. Remember, doing this will help diffuse student disputes. Include sections on submitting proper assignments to the Dropbox, how important it is to purchase course material before the course begins, your grading timeline, when you will use Franklin Live in the course, and a reminder about the course end date. I'd be happy to share my welcome letter with you, which covers the rest of the topics listed on this slide. The third mode of communication we will discuss now is Franklin Live. As you have witnessed in our live sessions, Franklin Live is a useful tool for both students and instructors. You will be using Franklin Live in your course rooms in the following ways. For required assignments or required sessions, please see your syllabus to see if your course includes one. You may use Franklin Live for supplemental and real-time sessions. For example, if you find information that pertains to the course room, you can hold an optional Franklin Live session for students to discuss the supplemental information. You can also pre-record sessions and send students the link so that they can listen in their own time. You can use Franklin Live for private tutoring sessions or meetings with students. If your course contains a group assignment or uses teamwork, the groups will use Franklin Live to hold team meetings. If this is the case, you can contact the help desk. They can create a sandbox in which students can use Franklin Live as moderators without you being present. As you can see, Franklin Live can be used in many ways. Please make use of it in your courses. It's a great way to establish a personal connection with students. And last but not least, the fourth mode of communication is the gradebook or the grade grid. This mode is extremely important because it's where students receive assessment of their performance in the course. When using this feature, please offer effective and constructive grading feedback for all assignments. You can use the upload feature in the gradebook to offer feedback and give additional resources or examples. Please be descriptive in the text box, always indicating if an assignment was late or an extension was granted. In all communications to students via the gradebook, please be positive and encouraging. Use your feedback in the gradebook as a way to reach out to students who are struggling. Create grading comment templates that you can use term after term, and remember, what you write in the gradebook remains for all to see. We have reached the end of this session. As you have learned, we more than value communication at Franklin University. It's expected that you go above and beyond in all interactions with students, no matter the mode of communication you are using. Making students feel welcome and keeping them informed is a great start to achieving academic success at Franklin University. Thank you.